Hi everyone, my name is Andy Schatz and I'm making a game called Monaco. Probably heard of it by now. One of the reasons you may have heard of it is that over the years we've gotten a lot of coverage from doing trade shows like PAX and PAX East. So I was just thinking that you guys might be curious about what goes into putting on a show or putting on a booth at PAX. There's obviously a whole wide variety of sizes of booth and how much goes into it. I just got back yesterday from my 4th PAX. I've done 3 PAX Primes in Seattle now and 1 PAX East, and we're getting pretty good at it. So there's certain things that we still aren't yet, I think, really good at. We don't have a big sort of constructed professional looking booth. We are back with the indie. We had a booth with the Indie Mega Booth, which is a collection of a whole bunch of indies that got together and got booth space on the show floor all in one concentrated area. So this year we had a slightly bigger booth than we've ever done in the past. In the past, we've always done a 10 by 10 booth, 10 feet by 10 feet. This year we went up to a 10 by 20, but then Dan Tabar from Cortex Command was looking for space, and we felt like 10 by 20 was maybe a little much for what we had. So we let him have a 5 by 10 in our space. So we were at 15 by 10 this time. So what goes into actually putting the booth on? Well, you have to sign up for the next PAX pretty much when the previous PAX ends, in order to make sure you get your choice of booth space, or at least the planning kind of starts then. You don't end up doing a lot about it, but it is something that you have to plan way out in advance. So for instance, if you're thinking about doing PAX East, you should start planning it now and get an application form. And if you're planning on doing PAX Prime, you really should be starting that right after PAX East ends. So once you do that and you talk to the show organizers, get an application form and get that in, then you have a long time to wait, obviously. And then planning really should start for a smaller booth, probably 2 to 3 months ahead of time, depending upon how much equipment you need to get and how much you're depending on other people. So we got a lot of equipment this year, sponsored by Intel. Kelly Wallach from the Indie Mega Booth helped out a ton with that. Some of that equipment also came from my contacts at Intel that I've sort of developed over the years. I helped them out with judging a contest this year, so they've helped me out with sponsoring the booth and providing a whole ton of equipment. I actually had 6 computers, 4 their Ultrabooks and 2 desktops. They also provided 3 large monitors, huge monitors for the booth as well. I also so that's a big part, making sure that you have the equipment that you need lined up, because that's the sort of the next big thing that you need to have done in the planning of the booth. Generally we try and get that process started 3 to 4 months ahead of time, and then get it really nailed down at least 1 or 2 months ahead of time at the very tightest. Part of that also is that with the Intel Ultrabooks, it's newer equipment, and while they run really well, we wanted to make sure that the game didn't have any sort of graphics card quirks or something like that on there, and with these Ultrabooks they actually did. So we had the Ultrabooks sent to my office instead of sent directly to the show floor, and so we were able to optimize the game for those Ultrabooks, which is great. So then the next thing that you need to worry about is if you're doing any sort of print or merch, you need to get that done probably several weeks ahead of time. We always print these cards, so we have basically postcards. I print about 1,500 each PAX, and we run through about 1,500 each PAX. Since not everyone grabs one, I don't know, I would say 1 out of every 6 people that comes by the booth actually grabs one. We print, and that's probably even less than that, but we print 1,500 of the cards, and we go through almost exactly 1,500 over the 3-day PAX, which, by the way, I believe they're expanding to 4 days next year. There's that. We've also always had pins that we brought, little pins with our characters on them. Those tend to be very, very popular. Any sort of swag at all is the sort of thing where it's like people come by and just want to pick up swag, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you want to give away. The whole point of being at a show like this is to build a viral awareness and build a relationship with your fans. And those are 2 separate goals, right? The relationship with the fans part of it is that you need to be out there talking to everyone who's playing your game on the show floor, and everyone who's excited about your game. And then, of course, part of that building a relationship is talking to press as well. You know, I've never actually been one for hunting down press before the show and making sure that they have appointments to come to the booth. If they're interested in coming to the booth, in my opinion, they're going to come to the booth. You know, maybe that's not the right advice, given that Monaco's a bit of a high-profile game for an indie game. But there it is. So there's the pins, there's the cards. We also do shirts. The past 2 years, we've actually sold the shirts at Pay What You Want. And what's great about this, and what's great about this sort of Pay What You Want business model in general, is it allows for price flexibility. So I think one of the issues in games that has actually sort of created the whole piracy culture is that for a long time, the industry didn't offer much price flexibility. There weren't ways to get a game for cheap if you couldn't afford or if you didn't value a game at full price. And so you see games, you know, you see games with like microtransactions, free to play, that have ultimate price flexibility. That if you don't want to pay anything, you pay nothing, and if you're willing to pay a lot more, you pay a lot more. Now it's probably debatable how much value you're getting out of the things you're actually paying for in many of those games. But what it is doing is it's offering the ability for someone who values the game at a low amount to still give you money, but then someone who values the game at a high amount, maybe even higher than what you would have retailed the game at, to pay more. What we found when we're doing it with T-shirts is that, you know, we tell people, hey, we're letting you set your own price for the shirt. We just ask whatever you give us, whatever you think is a fair price for it. We had really only probably 4 sales where people gave us under $10, which was fine too. Most of these, you know, you get kids that come into PAX that just don't have a lot of money, and the main thing is that we want them to be wearing our shirt, and we want them to be enjoying our game too. So chances are, if they buy a shirt, they're probably going to buy a game later too. And the shirts print for like $6-7 a piece. So you're really not losing very much money if they want to pay you $2. But for the most part, people are paying $20. We also did a sort of an incentivizing thing the way that the Humble Bundle does it, in that we said if you gave us at least $10, we'd give you a set of pins, and if you gave us at least $15, we'd also give you a poster. So we printed up posters this year. So all of that, anyways, that's sort of on the merch side of things. All of that printing stuff should be done weeks in advance of the actual PAX. Then one of the things you really need to worry about is signage. You need to make sure that your game or your booth stands out from everyone else's booths. We kind of failed on signage this to the show, cut it out, went to the store and bought some poster board, stuck it on the poster board with the poster board also cut out to the shape of the logo of the game, and then raise that up on sticks behind the booth. Getting a vertical height advantage to your banner is a big deal. It's really eye-catching when it's next to other booths that are all at the same height. So let's see, what else? For us, our little, I'll let you in on our little trade secret, and that is that if you rent things through the actual convention people, they often run at double the price of what it would cost you if you bought the thing flat out from IKEA. So for our TVs, we got most of our electronic equipment from Intel, but for every PAX that we've done, I've also rented a 60-inch TV from Rent-A-Center, which you can get for, you have to put a big deposit down, but you get that deposit back, and it ends up being like $250 or something like that for a 60-inch TV, which is really huge, especially for us since we've got a 4-player same-screen game. But that's definitely worth it. So yeah, that's for us. Then the trick is making sure you get there early. I always get there the 2 nights before, since we don't have that much of a booth to set up. But I want to make sure I have the full day on the Thursday before the show to set up, which I pretty much always take, no matter how much it seems like I've got things under control. And then I leave one day on the tailing end, because generally I need to return that Rent-A-Center TV. So that actually extends the Rent-A-Center thing does extend my day or extend my my visit for an extra day, which is not a bad thing because it's nice to relax the next day. So yeah, if you end up doing it, bring some granola bars. I always pack some 5-hour energies, because coffee ruins my stomach if I'm drinking too much of it, which I am about to go do right now. And yeah, get out there and be happy and enjoy interacting with your fans. Enjoy introducing your game to people that have never seen it before. And yeah, try and squeeze some press out of it, although the press is really sort of the icing on the cake at any show like this. So anyways, as you can probably tell, I'm a little tired, but I'm jumping right back into work today to finish up the last little things that we caught during our show at PAX. So anyways, alright, that's it for this video diary, and again, my name is Andy Schatz, and I'm nearly done with a game called Monaco.